Hello, today you'll take your first steps in Evernote by creating your first account. To do this, go to Login, where you can sign in with your email, Google, or Apple account. I'll use Google, select my account, and click Continue to accept the terms. This might take a moment, which is normal for first-time setup. It was quick for me, but it may take longer for you. Next, click Get Started. Evernote will ask questions to personalize your experience. For instance, it asks if I'm an individual, student, or working professional. I'll select Working Professional. For Evernote's use, I'll choose this option. How you heard about Evernote? In your case, it's through this video. What feature interests you most? I'll pick this one. Your account is now created. Just click Continue with a limited plan and you're all set. How do we set up this software? Let's click on our icon at the top. In Settings, we have 6 editable sections. In Preferences, for example, we have the Request tab, okay? In the Request section, we can adjust various options for appearance and function. For instance, we can switch between dark and light modes. It asks if we want links to open directly in the desktop app or if we prefer to be asked each time. We can customize settings like daily notes, calendar alerts, and sidebar appearance. For instance, next to the home menu, there's an eye icon. Clicking it toggles the visibility of a section, which we can also move. We can set default note structures. In the Tasks section, we can set how far in advance we want task reminders. We can choose preferences for different notebooks or notes. Lastly, there's an import section where we can... Let's bring up all the notes we already have, for example, in Word. In the Home section, we can securely view our profile. Here we can change things like password, email, etc., and enable verifications. If we go back, we can move on to the Devices section. Or remove someone from the account, okay? Here you'll see all devices connected to your Evernote. You can select and disconnect any device you don't want accessing your account. In the Connected Apps section, you can also view the profile. Here you'd see if you've linked your Google or Apple account. Later, in another video we've already made, you'll see how to connect Google Drive. And finally, we can go to Personal Info and view our profile. Here you can change your full name on Evernote, add a photo if you're working with colleagues and want to be recognized. You can also change your email and close your Evernote account. Customize our home in Evernote. To customize our home, go to the Home section. In the top right, you'll see the Customize button. Click this button and a sidebar will appear on the right, allowing you to make various adjustments to your Evernote home. Here you have available widgets preset by Evernote. As you can see in these sections, you can drag and drop widgets. For example, let's say I want to add the calendar. I drag it into the widget area and can adjust its size. As you change the size, some widgets may offer more options, like showing days in the calendar. These widgets can affect the layout. A larger widget needs more space, while a smaller one takes up less. Keep this in mind when arranging. You can also add a background to your Evernote home. If you add one at the top, it'll show a default image which you can change or replace with your own. Just select from your files. This background can be toggled on and off. You can add as many widgets as you like and remove them easily by hovering over any widget to see an X. Click it to remove that widget and you can add another if you want. Before we move on, I should mention that once you're done, hit Done to save these changes to your home page. If you're not happy with the changes, go back to Customize on the right. Click Reset to restore the home section to its default state, just like when you first open Evernote. This resets all widgets, allowing you to customize again, make changes, or keep it as is. How do you create and organize notes in Evernote? Alright guys, to create a note, first go to the top left where you see the notes section, okay? You'll see three options, but these two here are already covered in other videos, alright? And they're not really notes themselves, okay? The actual note option is the green one at the top left. Click it and Evernote will create a note for you, got it? By the way, if you have a template for your notes already set up, which I'll show you how to do later, you can just go to My Templates when creating notes and use yours, okay? That's how to create a note. Now let's look at how to organize it. How do we organize a note? First, know that you can share the note with your colleagues. Just give it a title, and once that's done, here you can edit your note as you like. Imagine you're writing something, okay? You can add text just like in Google Docs. You can change fonts, colors, and other options, alright? The important part is on the right, where the dots are. Click More Actions to see many options for organizing your notes as you prefer, okay? First, you can share again, right? You can share from here or copy the notes link to send to a coworker, for example. You can also move the note between notebooks, okay? Let me show you. I have my first notebook here, and this is my tutorial idea right now. This note is in my first notebook, but if I select tutorial and click to apply this option, okay? This note will move directly to the tutorial. See how it's moved to tutorial? When I open tutorial, this note I've moved will always be there, okay? Now you can see it's not the same to move a note as to copy it. Here are the options, and the next one would be to copy the note, right? Copying means it stays in our current notebook, but it's also copied to another notebook we choose. See, as you can see now, I open tutorial and still have here the example I just made, but also it appears in the other notebook too, copied. Moving on with options, you can duplicate this note in the same notebook. You can add tags I've created in the tutorial. Let's click on Edit Tags, okay? We also have a video explaining how tags work. We select the option, apply this tag, hit save, and it's done. The tag is now applied, okay? Now we can see this note within our tags. We can always edit again and remove this tag. Moving on to other options, we can add a shortcut for notes we use frequently in our daily routine. Essentially, this will create a direct shortcut with this star icon for quick access to our note without any hassle or need to search. We can also remove the shortcut if we want to. We can pin this note within our notebook, fixing it at the top of our notebook. We can change the note's width if we have a section to expand or collapse in our note, modify it, okay? We can choose to expand all or keep it more compact, and then within the note we can find text. Imagine that I created text way down in my note, okay? And I can't find it, okay? I'm looking for that title, so let's find the note. We enter the text, and as you see, it's highlighting it down here, okay? Moving on to the options in the note, you can change the information of the note. You've created the title. You can add tags from here too, the author who made it, and change the URL. And finally, you can print, which basically always means saving this note to your computer. How can we customize our notes in Evernote? Well, to customize our notes, we first need to create one as shown in another tutorial. After creating it and setting our desired options, we can start editing within our note. As you can see, up here is the typical menu for font, size, color, and text editing. If you want to edit size or other options, it's similar to Google Docs or Word, but the real power is in the Insert menu at the top left. That's where the magic happens. You can link notes and even create new linked notes. Let me show you an example, and what it'll do is create a new note linked to the previous one. What does this mean? If I go to tutorial example, I'll put linked note here so you can always understand what we're doing. As you'll see, I can go directly to my linked note and quickly navigate between notes. We can also add options like tasks within our note for different times of the day. Here we can edit many sections we covered in another video about creating tasks. We can also insert existing calendar events. For example, I have one created for this tutorial. I'll click on the tutorial event. You can insert any event you have. The event we created in the calendar will appear in our note, so we don't forget it or for any other reason we need it there. We can add links to other notes we've already created. If we have another note and want to link it directly, we can do it this way. For example, I'll link this note. Boom! The template I made for the tutorial is now linked, and I can go directly from one to the other. We also have options like adding a table, which is really cool and intuitive. We can add a box with different sections. It's as simple as clicking this plus button to add a new column, or up here to add a new row. We can also add separators. Between sections, imagine I want to separate this table from everything above. I'd simply click on the divider and you'll see a line dividing the two sections. We can attach files, images, add quotes, and use boxes to organize notes and check them off when done. You can record audio, which we cover in a specific video on how audio works in Evernote. There's code blocks, formulas, current date, and as shown before, you can link your Google Drive account to transfer all your documents to these notes. How do tags work in Evernote? Guys, I think tags are crucial in Evernote because they help us organize much better. To access these tags, we'll go to the tags section and a menu will appear on the left. This menu shows the tags we've created. For example, I currently have two, A, B, C, D, and tutorials. These help mark our notes, which we covered in a video on creating and organizing notes. Why would we want to use these tags? Basically to filter notes quickly. Imagine having many different notes from a project and we want to filter just the tutorial ones, so we'd add these tags. This way we could find it faster. How could we find it quicker? Well, basically we'd use tags for the tutorial, okay? It'd filter all notes with this tag. I've added it to 2, but if I go to tags and ABCD, since no note has this tag, nothing shows up. So I could go to tags, tutorial now, and go to this note. If I wanted, I could edit the tags and add ABCD, then save. After this change, when I go to tags, we'd see a 1 here, and this note would also have the ABCD tag. Important things about tags. Within tags, we can add subtags, as you're seeing now, that are displayed, okay? Why add subtags? Well, imagine you're working on a project and have notes with tasks to complete, right? Or tasks already done. You can filter these notes and add a mark within the same tag, okay? Use a subtag to indicate it's finished. Then you just search and filter, as you'll see now, all notes with that subtag to find and complete that work, alright? As you can see, clicking the 3 dots in any tag shows options like creating a subtag, which I've done, okay? I could create another now. As you see, I have a subtag here. I could filter with subtags, which I'll show you next. So you can filter your work, rename tags, remove tags from all notes, delete tags entirely, or add shortcuts on the left. I've created a shortcut to this tag so I can quickly view all notes with this tag. Back in the tags section, if I want to filter notes with a specific tag like finished, I'd click filter with subtags. Remove finished and tutorial and we'd see all unfinished notes. As you can see, nothing shows up because I don't have any notes with this subtag. Let's add one now. This linked note will edit the tags, remove BC, and add to be completed. We'll save changes, go to tags, and see one note to be completed. Let's click the 3 dots on tutorial, filter with subtags, remove tutorial to finished, and we'll see the note left to complete. This is great for filtering notes. If you don't want to do this search process every time, and it's something you do often, you can go here, click save search, name it, add this search, save shortcut, and save. Then in Shortcuts, you'll have that search readily available. You can go to Shortcuts, find projects to complete, and directly access this section just as I've shown. How do notebooks work in Evernote? Alright folks, to see how notebooks work, let's head to the Notebook section. In this area, we'll see all our created notebooks with a number showing the notes inside. For example, I'll open the tutorial notebook I've already made where we have various examples. Here we'll find all the notes within this notebook. As we've shown in the Creating and Organizing Notes tutorial, we can move these between notebooks as we like. The interesting part here is the section at the top, which is for sharing. You can share the entire notebook. For instance, if you're working with a colleague, just enter their email or Evernote username. You can share the entire notebook, not just one note, but all notes within it. We also have these dots that let us add a new note directly in this notebook without moving it later. It's more convenient and quicker. We can move this notebook to a space we've explained in a video. You can share the notebook as I showed before, rename it or delete it, add a shortcut in the Shortcuts section, set as default if it's your most used, or add to a stack. For example, if we add a stack, name it, we'd have a section with a stack containing notebooks. This is useful if we have many from the same project, allowing us to organize them with different names and sections. How to search for notes in Evernote? Alright folks, there are two main ways to find notes in Evernote. First, use the search bar, which I'll show you later, or go straight to the Notes section on the left. In the Notes section, we have several search options. First, we can sort notes by title, update date, creation date, or group them. We can also change these sorting options like alphabetical order for titles, most recent to oldest for updates, or vice versa. The same goes for creation dates. We can also add filters. Say you've made a notebook and tagged your notes, as we've shown in other videos. To create tags and notebooks, I could come here, specify that I want to go to the tutorial notebook, and also filter to show only notes with the tutorial tag in this notebook. And here I'd see all notes with this tag within this notebook. That's one way to do it. The second method is to use the search feature. To access it, I recommend first going to Home, then Search. In the search section, we have two types, Standard Search and their Integrated AI Search. For Standard Search, we simply look for the specific name of the note we want. For example, if I type tutorial here, we'd see various notes. It's worth noting that it doesn't just search note titles, it searches for notes and notebooks with that name or tag. This option is less refined than going to notes directly. Then we have the Conda section. Here we can ask questions. For example, I've entered a question. I can type a general query, hit enter, and it'll search for everything related to that topic. I don't need to use specific keywords, I just ask a question and it finds the answer. This could be useful if you have, for instance, a gym routine and you ask, "What's my gym routine for today?" It'll find the routine you've created for that day. This is the second option you have for searching your notes. How to use templates in Evernote? Alright guys, you should know that Evernote now offers template options. You can create custom templates, personalize them, or download pre-made ones from Evernote's template library. Just a heads up, downloading templates doesn't work in the web browser version. You can download a template, but it won't load properly. It should work in the desktop app though. You can search for templates here. In the Life section, find Monthly Calendar. Preview it to see if you like it. If you do, you can import the template using the button in the top right corner. As I mentioned, the browser version gives an error, but templates should work fine in the desktop version. Remember to find templates, go to evernote.com/templates. Next, you have templates that you can create yourself. For instance, I've made a template for creating a new note. You make a new note, give it a title like template, and say you have a table template. You divide it into sections, add a divider. We show how to do all this in our video on creating and organizing notes. Click on the right to save it as a template. Go to your template section, and there it is. This is the tutorial template, and this is the new one I just made. So, with your templates created, you can use them. Here it shows you're editing the tutorial template. Click Use this template, then choose which notebook to put the note in. I'll select the tutorial notebook, and as you can see, a note would be created here with the template you previously designed in that notebook. If you have a template that you no longer want to keep, or you made a mistake adding it, just go to the template section, open the template, click the three dots in the top right and click Save as Template again. You'll see a small X symbol and it'll automatically be removed when you return to Templates. In the Templates section, you'll see that the template has been removed. Here's how to upload and organize your files in Evernote. To upload files, you can create a note and insert the file you want, either from Google Drive. We have a video on connecting Drive to Evernote, or from your device. Just click Attach and choose your file. But there's another way to upload files, the Files section. Click the paperclip icon and you can directly upload files there. I've already uploaded some files in this section. When you upload files here, Evernote creates a new note with the file, not leaving it unattached or for you to place manually. It'll create a note with that file inside. You can add any type of file, photos, documents, PDFs, anything you want, even Google presentations. I recently added a Google presentation and you can navigate through it in Evernote just like you would in the original Google Slides program. To organize files in Evernote, we have options to filter all files, media, which includes photos, and documents. Within each category, you can filter by title, file size, or file type. If you're unsure of a file's size, click Show File Size and it'll display the size of each file on the right. When filtering by size, it starts from smallest to largest. Click again to reverse the order. You can also filter by file type. It all depends on what you need. How to save emails in Evernote. Alright guys, to save emails, if you haven't removed your widgets or made changes, go to Home. At the bottom, in Recent Captures, we have a video explaining all widgets. You could copy your email address directly. But if you've already saved emails, this option won't work. I'll show you another way. Go to the top left where your profile icon is. Click on Account Info, and there you'll see all your details. At the bottom, where it says Notes by Email, copy that address. We'll copy it, close this, and go to our email. Here's an email I'm using for this demo that I've sent to myself. Imagine this is the first email sent to you by, say, a client. You want to save it in Evernote. What you need to do is click here on the three dots, then forward. I recommend, instead of just copying the email directly, which you could do, that you click on Reply Type and edit the subject. This makes it easier to identify the email later. You could put Evernote and maybe who sent it. You can delete the rest and it'll save what was in the email. Add yourself as the recipient and hit Send. Now that you've sent it, go back to Evernote and refresh the page. It might take a moment, I had to refresh twice. You'll see Evernote and the subject you entered. The email will appear here. This would be the subject and what was inside, okay? I'll show you another interesting way to better organize your emails. Imagine you've already created a notebook where you want to store your emails. In my case, it's the tutorial one. You might also have tags for all your emails. For me, it's also tutorial. So I can go to my email, click the three dots, forward, change the mode, and edit the subject. We'll do the same as I mentioned before. You can change this or not. For the email content, we'll put our email again and add two things. First, the @ symbol and the notebook where we want to put this email, which in my case is tutorial. Okay, this is the notebook and hashtag for the note where the email will be saved. In my case, it's also called tutorial. Let's send it back to Evernote. We'll reload the page. As you can see, the sent email appears in Notes. Notice up here, the note's title matches the subject and it's saved in the tutorial notebook. Also, if I open this note, click the three dots and edit tags, you'll see the tutorial tag was added automatically as I set up earlier. This way, you can organize your emails efficiently directly within Evernote. How do you share notes, notebooks, tasks, or anything else in Evernote? Well, it's very simple. Let's say I want to share a note. I go to the note I want to share, click Share, and enter the name that appears in the account info. Go to Personal Settings, find Full Name and copy it. The person should send you their name and you can share using that. You can also share via email if you know it, or copy the link and send it. If you want to share an entire notebook, just go to the notebook and follow the same process but for the whole notebook. Or click Share next to the notebook name, which in my case is tutorial. That's how easy it is to share notebooks and notes. This also works for tasks. Just go to the note containing the task and share that note with the task inside. How does the events feature work in Evernote? Basically, you'd create an event in the top left and give it a title. I've done that here. Then you'd set when you want it to start at your desired time. You could also set an end time if it lasts a day, 2, or a week for work reasons. Or mark it as an all-day event if it's something that spans the whole day or a project. Set it to appear as an event in the calendar and create it. Once created, you can go to your calendar and see the event you've made. Here I see Event Tutorial, and you can add notes to all events. I can add a new note right now where this event will appear, and I can add actions or notes to consider for this event. Our event is always in the calendar and we can view it from there. Also, for any type of event in a note, like this one, I'll go back to the note. We can share it with coworkers if needed for any reason. How to recover my notes in Evernote. Okay, if you want to recover your notes, guys, imagine that, let's say, you've come here and you've deleted an event that was super important and you've thrown it in the trash for whatever reason and you want to recover it. Well, what you need to do is go down to the trash, and from there you can simply click the three dots at the top right of your note. If it's another note, then it's another note, in this case this one, and restore the note. Then you'll go back to the exact place where you had it. If you had it in the first notebook, tutorials, in my case, there. If you had it in another notebook, you'd go back to the notebook where you deleted it. For example, if I go to my tutorials notebook, okay, and let's say this template I made earlier that we have a template tutorial for, I've thrown it in the trash, okay, and I want to recover it, go to the trash, click the three dots, click restore note. Now, if you delete it permanently, obviously you can't recover it, so be careful with that. Restore the note, and in tutorials, that note I had previously deleted will appear again. How to use and maximize your spaces in Evernote. This is a new feature available in the beta that we can now use. Go to the Spaces section and click on New Space. Enter the space name, add an optional description, and click Create. Once created, you can add notes, notebooks, or move existing notes to this shareable space. For example, I can select this note and move it to this space. Now if I go to my Spaces tutorial, hello, I'll see this note here. In these spaces, you can add notebooks, notes, create pins, and share with colleagues. From the top right, you can rename the space and add a shortcut that'll appear in Shortcuts. This is useful if you frequently use this space, as it's a workspace for you and your colleagues to share all kinds of notes, as I mentioned earlier. This helps you organize your projects on a larger scale. If you're working on a big project, you're not limited to just notebooks. You can also create spaces with various books and albums stored within them. How to import and export notes in Evernote in case we want to import a note, okay? Or a document from elsewhere. We just need to go to our logo, right? It's in the top left, and where it says settings, we have a section for import with different options. We can import from our notes, mobile, OneNote, Word, Google Docs, and more. Additionally, we can upload files. For example, I'll upload this test note I made a while ago, okay? You'll see the note appear on the left side in the notes section. It'll create a new note with the uploaded file's title as the header. The entire note content will be there in PDF format that I'd exported earlier. Now, if I want to export a note, imagine this note I used for a tutorial on saving interesting emails in Evernote. Well, exporting it is very simple. All you need to do is click the three dots in the top right and select print. Although it says print, it's not actually printing. What it does is convert the note to PDF format. Click print, then go to downloads, okay? Here, you'll enter the name you want, like email, and hit save. The note you've chosen will automatically be saved as a PDF. Got it? As you can see, here's the PDF. How to fix widget errors. When customizing, we might have started personalizing widgets, added a calendar, and maybe deleted an important one. We removed it, applied changes, and later realized we deleted a crucial widget with useful features. Now, when searching for it, we can't find it. If this happens and you want to reset your widgets, it's easy. Just wait a moment. Go to the top right to customize, click reset, and restore default widgets. Then hit reset again. This will restore your home screen to its original state, solving any issues from unwanted widget changes and letting you start fresh. How voice notes work in Evernote. We have two ways to create a voice note. The first is to tap the dots and select audio, okay? It'll automatically open and create a new note for us, alright? With this voice note, everything I'm saying is being recorded by the app. Got it? We tap finish and the note will be saved. If we listen, it'll play back. See how it saves everything I say? What's cool about this app is we can transcribe the note. We tap transcribe and it'll process, then transcribe everything we've said. See? All I've said in this audio is transcribed into text. You can also tap insert to add audio, okay? We tap audio recording, and now I'll say good morning. I'm not sure how many I've recorded, but when I hit transcribe, it'll take a moment to load and then transcribe what I've said. But it's not just for recording audio, you can also upload files. It'll detect MP3s as audio and transcribe them. For example, if you have an important work conversation you need in written form rather than audio, this is perfect. You can click insert to add an attachment. I'm using an MP3 file from another tutorial as an example, guys. Today I'll show you how to take your first steps in space. That would be the audio, okay? First we'll create an account. We'll go to this section, hit transcribe, and it'll convert everything I've said to text. But also notice this. I mention logging in, creating accounts, and it lists the different login methods. It detects and numbers them. It's a cool feature you can use in the Ever app. Alright guys, I'm going to show you how to skip your damn Google Ads campaign. You go to the homepage where you create your crappy campaign, which you don't want to create, by the way. It's the truth, Google. Go to the bottom left skip, exit the campaign creation, easy peasy. That's the end of the tutorial. How do Evernote's payment plans work? Well, we have a total of 5 plans, including the free one. The free plan offers up to 50 daily notes, 1 notebook, 1 connected device, 250 MB monthly uploads to Evernote. We have a video on how to export and import files in Evernote. MB max note size, access to main features, and more. Then there's the personal plan at $8.83 per month. This plan includes everything in the free plan plus 150,000 extra notes, up to 2,000 notebooks. 150,000 extra notes, 2,000 notebooks. You can connect all devices you want for working with colleagues, and up to 10 GB of monthly file uploads. Lastly, the professional plan at $10.83 monthly, which is quite interesting because in addition to including everything from the personal plan, you also get a standard Adobe Acrobat license, which, like it or not, is quite valuable, plus 20 GB of extra monthly upload and AI-powered editing and search, which we explain in our video on how the AI search feature works. The video is called How to Search Your Notes. Next is the Teams plan at €16.66 monthly, ideal for large work groups or companies. It offers 500,000 notes, 10,000 notebooks, 20 GB monthly upload allowance, plus 2 GB per user, shared team spaces, decentralized account management and user administration, and corporate ownership of all business data within Evernote. Finally, there's a plan more specifically tailored for enterprises. The Enterprise plan, which doesn't have a set price, is the type of plan where you'd need to talk directly with Evernote's developers to determine how much you're willing to pay for their customized platform offerings as they tailor it specifically for you. This plan includes advanced features like a dedicated customer success manager, advanced account management, company-wide content control, and enterprise data ownership, single sign-on, user provisioning, and custom plan limits tailored to your organization's needs, which is what I mentioned earlier. They customize based on your requirements and price it accordingly.